Let's turn affordable Dollar Tree items into high-end home decor dupes. I spotted these metal circle photo frames in the Dollar Tree checkout line, and I've only ever seen them one time, unfortunately, but they reminded me of the Pottery Barn Alma candle holder. I know these are photo frames, and you could absolutely leave them like this. I added a simple floral line drawing to the frames to show you how it would look as is. But I really wanted to see if I could figure out how to transform these into a wall candle holder like the Pottery Barn inspiration. The plastic photo sleeve was really easy to pull right off of the metal, and then I was able to just push that center bar off with my thumb. I thought that there had to be a way to get that center metal piece to sit like it was coming straight out from the ring rather than sitting up straight up and down like it was. And that way the candle can sit in the center. My husband was able to help me out with this part since I don't have great hand strength. He snapped that bottom right off with pliers, and then he was able to curve the piece that originally the clear plastic photo sleeve was sitting in. This way I could set the metal ring in this part. I added some super glue to make sure that it doesn't slide around on the ring, and then I added these wooden candle holders that you can find at Hobby Lobby to that small center circle. I bent the flat metal tabs coming off of the circle upwards to look like it was holding that candle holder in place, and then I glued all these parts together. I spray painted the wood black so that everything's cohesive, and that was it. I found these perfect candles at Hobby Lobby as well. They're short enough to work in this metal ring with a narrower bottom to still fit in the candle holder. You could also use these thicker candles that are pretty tall, but I thought that the proportions would look a little bit funny for this specific project. This project I have been wanting to recreate for a while now, and then Dollar Tree started selling these small acrylic rectangles, and I knew right away these would be perfect for making a faux stained glass lantern. Several years ago, I used this gallery glass to make faux stained glass projects, and I always wanted to make some sort of lantern with it. Then I came across this Tiffany lamp dupe. I really don't think that this is real whatsoever, but my god is it stunning. This is what I wanted to make as my faux stained glass lantern. The only problem is my acrylic sheets are flat on top and the inspiration is shaped like a tulip. It also didn't just have 90-degree angle corners, there were additional thin glass pieces creating another side. So I printed out a similar design using ChatGPT to create the image in the correct size and scale that I needed, and I grouped the 4 sheets together and cut them down with my track saw. Now to get the top tulip shape, I used a second sheet of the acrylic and I traced out the pattern. This time I used my Dremel tool to cut the acrylic. This tool was the most delicate. I had tried a hot knife, but that just melted too much and a jigsaw would have been too powerful. But my poor dog, he just hates the sound of the Dremel. I really try not to use it, but I could not find another method that would work. With all of my pieces cut down, I removed all of the film and then I glued the tulip tops onto the rectangle base. Next, I placed the template under the acrylic to outline it with the gallery glass leading that acts as the lead lines of the faux stained glass. You want to make sure that the lead lines are raised up enough so that when you add the colored glass in, it doesn't spill into the next section. And once the leading was dry, I went over top of it with rub and buff to get the gold lines like my inspiration had. This was a very tedious task, but next I was able to add in the color. If you add the colored gallery glass in just as it is, you will get a semi-sheer look when it dries. But I wanted to have a little bit more depth and dimension to look more realistic, so I added in some of the clear gallery glass in strategic places. After doing a few of the panels, I found what worked best was to apply the clear first in streaks and then add that color on top. This gave a beautifully wispy outcome that had some clear sections just like you would find in real wispy stained glass. Next, I glued all of the pieces together to create the lantern, and I used those original thin rectangle pieces that I cut off at the beginning as the angled corner pieces. and I just tacked the parts together with a dab of hot glue to hold it in place. And then I added a long bead of hot glue down the sides for more stability, but also to act as the lead lines for this section. I didn't show it on camera, but I filled in those sections with the pink gallery glass as well, just like the inspiration. And this time, to make them gold, I used a Sharpie. This was so much quicker and gave that same effect as the rub and buff. Now for the lamp base, I'm using a brass candlestick holder, and I put a thick dowel in the center to add height. And then I added smaller dowels to the top of the lantern for something to rest it on. And then for a final touch, I added in some fairy lights to give the lamp a glow. And I think this looks so stunning for a dupe using Dollar Tree acrylic sheets, and pretty darn close to the original if you ask me. A few videos back, I made these house sketch plates of the 2 homes that my husband and I have owned. Well, I knew my mom was going to love that project, which she did, so for Mother's Day, I'm making her a slightly different version of my childhood home. For this one, instead of plates, I'm using a wood shadow box from the Dollar Tree Plus section and the scallop trim that you can find at Hobby Lobby. I went straight in, painted the wood white, but I should have sanded it down first. That would have been much easier whenever going over the lines with the paint marker, so if you do something like this on wood, make sure to sand it down smooth. But next I did the same process as last time. I covered the back of the house drawing with pencil lead to transfer the image onto the wood surface. And this worked out so well on the wood, where on the plate the graphite was very faint and hard to see. This time I'm using a paint marker to add the color instead of the porcelain pen, since I'm drawing on wood, and this one has a dual tip for fine lines and a bullet tip for thicker lines. After getting the initial outline done, I went back and made select lines thicker to stand out a little bit more and add contrast. I also added the address, which we no longer live at, so I didn't blur this one out like I did in my last video. I cut down the trim off camera and I mitered the corners in the center of a scallop so that they would fit together nicely and look nice and rounded, and I glued them onto the frame. Once the glue dried, I stained the scallop trim in the color Honey. This is a fabulous little handmade Mother's Day gift that I know my mom is going to treasure for years to come. I'm always looking for unique little shelves while I'm out thrifting and scrolling on Facebook Marketplace, but I don't often find ones that are near me, or they cost more than I want to spend, or they're just not for sale. And then I saw this reeded wall shelf on Magnolia, and I had an idea to recreate something similar, but on a smaller scale and for much less than $160. So I headed to Dollar Tree to see what kind of shelves that they had. I found an MDF shelf that had a wood grain look on the top of it, but it wasn't real wood. And then this wood hanging shelf, so I decided to use the shelf that was wood, and I picked up 4 of them. The inspiration had rounded sides, and since these shelves are already quite small, I didn't want to make them even smaller by rounding the sides. But you could do that if you needed to fill a small little nook. I cut the rounded board down to use those end sections and attach them to another board using wood scraps. Sorry, I know this part is blurry. I did that 2 times to have 2 shelves, and then I stained them in dark walnut. I also stained a bunch of dowels in the same color. The dowels are going to give that reeded look like the Magnolia version. Now, to put everything together, I used a combination of super glue and pin nails. I started at the seams where I put those 2 boards together, and I used 4 slightly thicker dowels for this part to give a little bit better stability over the thinner ones. I also did not stain the bottoms of these shelves, but I should have done that because trying to do it after I built everything was quite difficult. I added the thicker dowels every 1.5 inches or so around the curved sides, and then I went back and filled in between those dowels with thinner ones. Blue and white prints are everywhere right now, from Hobby Lobby to the flea market, antique malls, and thrift stores. I've even made a few DIY projects recently myself. So of course, Dollar Tree has picked up on this, and they have a fun blue and white butterfly print peel and stick wallpaper. I wanted to cover a couple of books with the peel and stick paper to add a fun spring pop of color into my decor shelves. The paper didn't quite fit around my book, so I had to try and line up another piece. It doesn't match exactly, but I figure this will be the side that you don't see. It's not that big of a deal. And I covered a second book in this beautiful green and white print. Very simple to do to add that fun little spring touch to your decor.